Hi folks, this is the ninth problem of the DSA series. So let's get started. It says given a string S, return true if it is a palindrome, otherwise return false. Okay, so what is a palindrome? A palindrome is a string that reads same forward and backward. Okay, so let's see this race car. Here RACECAR if we read it from forward. However, if we read it from backward, RACECAR will again get race car. Same goes for this forward MADAM, backward MADAM, right? So I hope you understand what a palindrome is. So let's write a function which checks if a string is a palindrome or not. Okay, so here we'll get a string S. This is the simplest method that I am giving you first. So we can simply return, we have to return either true or false. So let's do an equality check. S equals to S is a string. So this is a string here, and then here we want to reverse the string. However, we cannot have reverse directly on string in JavaScript. We have to first split it into an array, then we can reverse it because we have reverse method on array split dot reverse dot join. Now we have to join the reversed array, right? So this is the simplest method. It has the space, complexity and time complexity. Okay, so the time complexity of this is O of n. Why is it so? Because splitting is in O of n, reverse is again O of n, join is again O of n. So yeah, this whole time complexity of this is O of n. Space complexity is again split makes a new array, so take space. So all the reverse has again O of 1 space complexity, join again have O of n space complexity. So we have O of n space complexity in this case, right? Now let me give you another way, a better way to do this with space complexity of O of 1. So this way that I am doing is known as two pointer method. Okay, is palindrome final. Let me write it, is palindrome final. Again we took a string S. Now what we got to do is we'll simply, so into two pointer method what it does is it runs two pointers, one from the start, one from the end, comparing these two characters, that is one character from the start, one character from the end. For example, R will be compared to this R, the second character from the start will be compared to second character from the end, that is A with compared to A, the third character from the start will be compared to the third character from end, and then we come to E, which where start and end are equal. Here the loop will break, right? However, the characters we took from start and end, if they are equal, then we know that this is a palindrome. So right, so we have to run two pointers, one from the start, one from the end. So let's do it. Let's say let start is equals to 0 because we got to start from the 0th index. Let end is equals to s dot length minus 1 because we got to start from the end as well. So let's run a while loop while start is greater than end. Understood? Because there will be a point when we are both incrementing start by 1 and decrementing end by 1, that start will be greater than end, or start or end will be equal. So we want our while loop to break at that point. Okay, so here we'll say if s whatever there is the start index is equals to whatever is there at the end index, if both are equal, then simply do start plus plus, increment the start index by 1 and decrement the end index by 1, and then compare those as well and keep doing it. Okay, however if this isn't the case, then simply return false, not false but false. Okay, however if this loop completes and we have not returned false, that means this is a palindrome and hence we should return true. Now let's see if this is working or not. Let's give it this string random. Okay, this is working. Now let's do this and it should return false. It is again returning true, which shouldn't happen. MD, it shouldn't happen. Okay, let's see what we are doing wrong. If start is smaller than end, then simply check if it's equals to end. If this is the case, then as return false. It seems fine to me. Okay, we might be doing something wrong here. Palindrome final. Okay, so it will, so let's say okay, if it will check M and M. And N first, then start will be plus plus and will be minus minus. It will check A and D, then in the next iteration it will check A and D, which are not equal, so it will simply return false. It should simply return false. Yep, it should simply return false. I am doing something wrong here. S dot length minus 1, and I couldn't seem to figure it out. If this loop completes, then simply return true. In the second iteration it will check A and D. When it will compare is A equals to D, it's not, so it should come to this else block and return false. Okay, let's check if our first one is working right. This palindrome final. This palindrome final should also work. I might be making some error here. Start is greater than end. Start length minus 1. True. Start length minus 1. Start is from 0. Okay. Yep. So this loop should run while start is smaller than end, right? Yeah. I was, yeah. Now it should work. It is returning false, and now what it is returning in case of madam? Yeah, it is returning true. Yeah. So this loop should run only when this start index is smaller than end index. Whenever the start index exceeds the end index, or start index equals to end index, that means we should break out of the loop. Yep. So yeah, this is working. Now here we are it says one more thing. It says ignore all alphanumeric characters, right? And palindrome is case insensitive and ignore all alphanumeric characters. So what are alphanumeric characters? These are letters, small and capital, as well as numbers. Other than that, all characters are alphanumeric characters. For example, spaces. Other than that, all characters are non-alphanumeric characters. For example, space is a non-alphanumeric character. This is question mark is a non-alphanumeric character, right? Now take this example. Is it a palindrome or not? If we gotta ignore the space and this question mark, which is non-alphanumeric character, then yes, it is a palindrome. See, was it a car? See, this is a palindrome, but this won't give us the correct answer because it considers the string to be an alphanumeric string, right? So to solve this, let's write a function is alphanumeric to simply check if a character is alphanumeric or not. Here we'll simply do if character is greater than equals to So it will simply compares the ASCII value in this case. So if it comes between A and Z is greater than equals to A and is smaller than equals to Z, then simply return true, else return false. That's it. But we also have to check for numbers as well as capital letters, right? Because alphanumeric includes letters small as well as capital as well as numbers. Okay, or or car, it should be between 0 and 9 is greater than, and car should be smaller than or equals to 9. Okay, yeah. Now we are not checking the capital letters, you will see why. So now here we can simply convert it into small. We can say let lower case is equals to lowercase string. So let's say lowercase string is equals to s dot to lowercase. It will give us a lowercase string. And here what we got to do is, this start is smaller than end. We also have to have another while loop which will simply skip the non-alphanumeric characters. That is, if there is a space in between, if there is a question mark in between, there might be 5 space in continuity. It will skip all of those coming from the start or either coming from the end, doesn't matter. So for that we'll say if is alphanumeric is false, is alphanumeric s start is false, simply do start plus plus, right? And here if it says if this is also false, then simply skip these ends as well, simply do n minus minus. Okay, yep, and this should work. Let's see. Yeah, it is returning true for this, which was returning false for this. Now the main test is if it returns true for this. Let's see, and I hope it returns true. Yes, it returned false. We have to see why shit happens when I'm making the video. Okay, we have to compare the lowercase string. Here see, we are making lowercase here, so we don't have to compare the uppercase letters here. We are only sending the lowercase letters in this function. So right, so we gotta do lowercase string. Yep, seems right. Okay, now this is giving true for this. This is in palindrome. Let's just change something here and let's see. Now it's giving false. Yeah, so it's working. However, one more thing is there. If let's say the whole string is like this that we try to compare, then start plus plus will go on and on and on. Even after this string we get undefined, so it will go on and on and on. Okay, it is not bound in any way, right? So this is an edge case which if we want to cater to, we gotta say start should be smaller than end of every single time, right? And here as well the end can go like this, end can be go on and on and on and on. So here as well we say this, okay, and it will take care of this edge case. Let's see again. Okay, this is working. So yeah, I'm gonna commit it to my repo and give a link below. So that's all from my side. Thanks for watching, guys. Okay, no, one more thing. So time complexity, again this has a time complexity of O of n, similar to this, because we are mapping over the whole string, although from both sides. Now the space complexity, since we are not, okay, so we, yeah, again it has a space complexity of O of n, because if we don't take this lowercase string, no, this string we don't take, if we don't take this alphanumeric thing into, like if we have, if we can do, compare the capital letters here and don't take into account the lowercase string here, simply compare, then yeah, then it could be, but yeah, here the time complexity, the space complexity is again O of n because of this let lower string. So yeah, that's all from my side. Thanks for watching, guys.